Hey guys, stick around. Today we're going to talk about why I have two Novation circuits and how I sync them up with my iPads. This is what we're going to talk about today, guys. How I'm using my Novation circuits.
Electronisounds Audio, the YouTube channel for you.
Right off the jump, I think it's really important to note, guys, that I'm using my Novation circuits, and for the most part, my iPads and a lot of this external gear that you'll see in my videos, I'm using this stuff for live jamming and not really for writing finished music. If I want to write a piece of finished music, I'll use my desktop system and I'll use Ableton Live. That's sort of been my go-to for the last couple of years. But I don't always want to do that. Sometimes I just want to have some fun with music. And that's where all this extra stuff has been coming in. That's why I got the Novation Circuit. That's why I got the iPads and got into this external stuff in the first place. Because I really want to be able to have some fun with the music and not just sit down with the intention of writing a finished piece of music inside of Ableton Live. Sometimes I just want to jam out and get access to knobs and stuff really quickly. I don't necessarily even want to wait, 20 minutes or so to get my full desktop system fired up and ready to make music. And the reason that I'm explaining that right off the jump is I feel that I do not use either one of my Novation circuits to their full potential, really. But what I do use them for is to my full fun potential. And that's really why I have these. And what I've done is I've loaded these up with sounds that I've made. These are mostly drum sounds, percussion sounds. A few chords are in here. And what I've done is I've created, on the one on the right, this is mostly top percussion, hi-hats, percussion and claps and some snares. So I can create top loops and whatnot, and ride cymbals maybe. And then the one on the left is going to contain mostly kick drums and low frequency percussion. So I'm basically using this as a gigantic glorified drum machine with the low frequency content on the left and the high frequency content on the right. Now, to get the circuits to start and stop together, and also to sync up with my iOS apps that use Ableton Link, what I'm using is an app called MIDI Link Sync on the iPad here. The iPad is plugged into my Novation Audio Hub, and both of the circuits are plugged into the Novation Audio Hub. There's a whole bunch of other ways that you can get your iPad to talk to the circuits if you don't have a Novation Audio Hub. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set the tempo we'd like to work at. I'll pick 106 BPM, and we will check both of the circuits down here. That shows that they're plugged in and we're ready to go. All I have to do now is start the MIDI clock, and that will start both of the circuits. If I press stop over here, it will stop both of the circuits. Now, if I have different apps running, say on this old iPhone or on my iPad mini, and if those apps feature Ableton Link, which quite a few of the apps do these days, that will also, be able to sync in time to my setup here. And I'll just plug these. I have a second audio hub over here, I think, out of the shot. And I'll just plug the output of the iPhone via, a little 3.5 mini jack into a little mixer I have here, so that I can add those to the mix in real time as well. So the circuits will allow us to load 64 samples up to 60 seconds of audio. And that's what I have done in both of the circuits. Like I was saying before, the circuit on the right I'm using for more top-end percussion and snares and claps, and the one on the left for more bottom-end and low-frequency content. So I have lots of different hats and shakers and stuff, a ride cymbal, all sorts of high frequency content here. A little bit of percussion, lots of shakers and stuff. Like one probably chord stab, because I just, really like to do that dub techno stuff. You get the idea, just mostly hats and claps and percussion and stuff. And then on the one on the left, it's going to be mostly, big kick drums from my collection. Ones that I've made over the years. For different styles, when I put these samples together, I wanted to get some kicks that would be good for really, down tempo, subtle stuff, as well as ones that had maybe a more clicky attack on them for more, EDM-y, up-tempo house stuff, electro house. Ooh, another chord, cool. You get the idea. So between these sounds that I've, loaded in here, I have 128 custom sounds. These are all sounds that I've made. And this allows me to, program all sorts of, in each one, 32 rather, not all sorts of, but 32 different patterns. And then I can, mix and match those in real time, because they're just drum parts. And so in real time, especially for, like I was saying earlier, for live jamming, the variations I can get out of this without much thinking and just really quickly are, absolutely limitless almost. I'll give you a quick example here. I'm going to start the circuits using the MIDI Link Sync app on the iPad, which is now out of the shot. And then I'm going to switch patterns in real time, and you'll see what I mean about how I can just sculpt different sorts of drum grooves really quickly and easily. And if I remember where I came from, I could go back there, but I don't always, or, rather I don't even often remember where I came from, because it's kind of the whole point here is that I can hit any of these and it'll just sort of sync up, And a little hiccup in the MIDI there. So you get the idea. I've got, you know, different kick patterns over on the left, and I've got different top loops over on the right. And because we're tempo synced, it's just you know, a random sort of combination thing. So when I'm jamming, I can really easily you know, take the jam in different directions using this. You may be wondering why I have this Launch Key Mini sitting here not being used yet. And this is attached to my Silent rig. I'll put a link to the video of how I use this. And I'll be using this a little bit later, hopefully, to show you some ways that we can get some really quick jams together with the circuits. Another thing I find really useful in live jams is that I've taken this old iPhone and I've loaded it up with some MP3s that I've run through a program called Mixed in Key. And these are atmosphere and just sort of random abstract recordings of sound, per se. And I've run them through Mixed in Key, and I've taken out the recordings that are in the key of F minor. And I use these as background atmospheres during my live jams. So for instance, I have one of ocean waves. I have just some freaky atmospheres. I have a forest rain recording. I have some field recordings that have been mashed up together into one long recording and tuned to the key of F minor. I have a bamboo garden atmosphere, which is in the key of F minor. And these just provide, you know, like an interesting wash of sort of like pad atmosphere in the background of the live jams, and I can just, you know, fire these up and add these into the mix, you know, at will, and they'll add that extra element of something special. And how I'm doing that is I'll take an out from the phone and I'll run that directly into, see if I can get a little higher here. I'll run that directly into this little Rawls mixer here. And then all I have to do, I mean, I just got a little mix on it. I can fade in, you know, say some atmosphere at the beginning of a track or during a break of a track, or just to maybe keep some interest as I'm, you know, keeping a jam moving forward. And of course, I find it a huge benefit in having more than one iPad, so I can use different apps quickly and easily, and still have, you know, touch interface access without having to do a bunch of screen and app switching, which I'm not real fond of. So this is what I meant by that I'm not using the circuits to their full potential. I know there's synths in here and whatnot. I've got 4 synth tracks between the 2 circuits that I'm not even really using for these live jams. I'm mostly just using my Silent rig and iPad apps for synth stuff, and just using this, you know, mostly as a really big customizable drum machine. The concepts with this rig that come up for me again and again are quick, easy, and live jam. So that's what I'm going to try to attempt to do here. I'm going to start the circuits. I'm going to see if I can get a live loop to go over that using my Silent rig inside of Ableton Live on this wimpy laptop. And then we're going to add some atmosphere over that using the old phone atmospheres that I've got tuned to the key of F minor. And we'll use some sort of iPad appery, and we'll tune that to the key of F minor and see just how quickly we can get some sort of interesting jams together. Wish me luck. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you can see why I like this workflow with the circuits. It's super quick. We got all 4 of these jams done in less than an hour. Thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe if you like this kind of shizzle.
That is wonderful.